Okay, the very next part we're going to do is the cow catcher. We start with a new standard IPT. Make sure you're working under the mini train project. Okay, let's go ahead and put this in home view. It wants to work on the XY axis, and this time I'm going to go ahead and try to begin from another plane. So I'll want to sketch this time like on a top view, which is the XZ plane. Okay, and now I can go ahead and start sketching the top part of my cow catcher. So I'll begin from this origin, and I'll start drawing the pentagonal shape that we're asked to do. This is a top view, and we know the dimensions are not correct, but we're going to start fixing that right now. So let's go ahead and dimension this back part right now is 1.2. 1.2. Okay, so now our lines are a little bit skewed. Let's go ahead and fix that before we continue. Okay. Next, this dimension right here should be 0.25. And this dimension right here should also be 0.25. And obviously this point has to be in the center, so I'm going to go ahead and dimension that edge to the center point should be half of this one. So we can click on that dimension divided by 2. It should be 0.6. Alright, let's see. Now, this is moving back and forth. You can always test it to see if you have fully constrained your object, and we have not. So our dimension from the back to the front, this dimension is 0.75. Alright, right click done. If no other lines are moving, then that means our shape is fully constrained. Finish the sketch. Okay, now we're going to do plane, and it's going to be offset from the XZ plane. Okay, click once. Now click on one of these little corners or a handle, and then just start dragging it down. Now the distance from the top plane to the bottom plane is going to be a height of 0.75. So you can go negative 0.75, or you can just type it in. And yes, that's where I want my other plane to be. So when you start sketching, make sure that you click on Sketch, and then you click on the work plane, so that you know that you're working on the bottom plane, not on the top sketch that we had just finished. So just move this around. You can see that the sketch is floating on top of the bottom sketch that we just started right now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and click on top so that we can start rotate this too. And I'm going to borrow some of these lines and project them to the bottom. I'm going to click on project. All I'm doing is I'm copying these lines to the bottom. So you can see now they're yellow lines right here. And the reason I'm projecting them is just so that I can make sure that I'm drawing the bottom profile, centered to the one on the top. Okay, so let me go ahead and draw a line from the left. Let me go ahead and view this from the top. From here to here. Okay, should be 0.25. And then to the top. Done. Let me just take this dimension out of here, bring it a little bit closer. Okay, I don't think I connected the 2 points on the back, so just make sure that you are connecting all of the dimensions in here. Okay, let's dimension the line on the back. Should be a distance of 1.8. Okay, so it's 1.8. Now the distance from the center to this edge should be half of 1.8. So it's 1.8 divided by 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and center these two right now. We can just use the vertical alignment constraint. Just click on the very tip. Now you can see that they're centered. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's dimension these sides. All of these are also going to be 0.25. Okay, this distance right here should also be 0.25. Good. That's fully constrained. Let's right click done. Let's see if... Okay, looks like all of these points have been fully constrained. Okay, the distance from the very top to the back should be 1 inch. Let's go ahead and dimension this to the back. From the front to the back should be 1 inch. Okay, and it knows already that it should be 1 inch. Probably made these lines parallel. So I'm just going to go ahead and have that one here, just in case you didn't make your lines parallel to the lines on the very top view. It should be 1 inch. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the sketch. So we have two sketches, one on the top, one on the bottom. We're going to go ahead and loft. So when you create that loft, click to add on the top sketch. It knows what profile to select. Now I'm going to click to add the second sketch. Okay, make sure that you select the bottom, all of the area. Then you click on OK. Alright, so this is our cow catcher. And the next thing that we need to do is, if this little window is bothering you, you can just go ahead and right click, turn off the visibility. Alright, shell is the next feature that we need to do. And that feature's right here. This shell feature, remove face, the thickness should be 0.1. So just make sure you click on the bottom, not on the top. Some people make that mistake. Just click on the bottom and the thickness should be 0.1. When you're ready, just click on OK and it should create a hole just on the bottom, not on the top. Okay, so just make sure that you have the right settings. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sketch to make these little indentations. If your dimensions are correct, you should be able to sketch on these. If you're not able to sketch on these faces, that's probably because some of your dimensions on the top were incorrect before you lofted. We're going to offset. So click on offset. When you click once, you should be able to create one complete offset. If you're only able to click one at a time, that's probably because your preferences are set differently. Alright, so we've just done an offset, and let's dimension between these two. The dimension between these two is going to be typically 0.1. Okay, and all of these lines should be 0.1 all at the same time. Let's click on finish the sketch. Now let's go ahead and do an extrude cut. So we're going to do an extrude cut, a distance of 0.05, so it's just a small indentation, and we're going to repeat the same process to the other side. Sketch here on the left side, offset, dimension the distance between the offset and the line should be 0.1. Finish the sketch, extrude. Make sure you choose extrude cut, and it should be a distance of 0.05. Click OK, and we're almost done. The last part that we need is making sure that we're placing our pegs on the back in the right place, because these are the ones that are going to be attaching to the front of the train. So we'll start with the sketch on the back, and we're going to create 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just 3 circles. And we're going to go ahead and dimension these circles. The size of each of these circles is 0.125. Okay, that's the diameter. 0.125. Now, the diameter of the bottom one should be the same as the first one. The diameter of the bottom left should be the same as the first one as well. Okay, so the size of the circle we have. 2 things you need about a circle is the size and location. So the location of the top one with respect to the width should be 0.6, which is between the length of this line. The height should have a distance of 0.125. Okay, so this circle is completely dimensioned. It's fully dimensioned. Now from the center of the circle to the center of this circle, the distance should be 0.5. Okay, now the distance from this one to the bottom circle should also be 0.5. The distance and width between these 2 circles should be 0.625, and the distance between this circle and this circle should also be 0.625. Right click, done. You should always try to test these circles and try to move them around, because if they're not, that means they're fully constrained. Let's finish the sketch. Now let's extrude. Let's put this in home view to see what we're doing. Let's extrude that one, this one, and this one. They're going to be extruded a distance of 0.125. I'll make sure you don't have a double negative. So this is 0.125. Okay, so click on OK, and we're almost done. The last thing we're going to do is chamfer these little edges on the circle, and these are going to have an edge of 0.01. And the edges we're going to select are all of these pegs that we just extruded. So it's going to be 0.125. Click on Apply. Alright, they're going to have a small chamfer. They look nice. Close the chamfer menu. Go to the home screen. And if you wanted to give it some color or material, you can do that at this time. When you're done, just go ahead and click on Save. And we'll save this part as Cowcatcher. Click on Save, and we're done.